And thank God He came, and it says that He satisfied the law, because in the law was a demand that for sin, blood would be shed. That for sin, judgment would fall. That for sin, there would be a righteous recompense. When we think of God being good, we oftentimes think of a God who does as we wrongly do with our children. We see them do wrong and we say, oh, it's okay. Oh, it doesn't matter. For God to say that, it's to say that God is not holy. It's to say that God doesn't hold to His word. It's to say that God is okay with sin, and nothing could be further from the truth. God knows and sees every sin that is done. And He promises that He will bring judgment against it. Make no mistake, the fact that lightning has not fallen is not proof of His approval of our lives. He remains righteous. He remains holy. And salvation is for those who turn to Him because of this one thing. Since the law demanded that blood be shed, and since the law demanded that there be a price paid, the demand was so high that we had no other hope. Believe me, even you dying for your own sins wouldn't have set the record straight. There had to be a perfect sacrifice. There had to be a lamb slain before the foundation of the world. And here comes Jesus for that purpose. And He fulfilled the law in that He suffered the penalty that was due to you and to me. He paid the price that you should have and I should have paid. He hung on my cross. He wore your throne. That should have been your side pierced by the lance. Should have been my hands, my feet driven through with Roman nails. But Jesus, the innocent, the only one who didn't deserve such a cross, is the only one who hung on the cross and made a difference. And He fulfills the law in doing that. And all who would turn, forsake, repent of sin, and turn to Him in faith would receive the salvation that all of Israel was trying to earn through earning brownie points with God. Look, God, I did this and I didn't do the other. Oh, but I forgot this other. And it says that if you're guilty of breaking one law, you're guilty of breaking them all, so it all goes down the drain and all those efforts. It's a funny thing because it's not a particularly Jewish thing. Yeah, it was built into their religion and it was taught in their synagogues, but whether or not we have codified it into a system of religion, we all kind of do the same thing with God, don't we? Don't you feel like you're a little bit more loved of God the days that you do something? Oh, I'm going to sleep well tonight. I gave that homeless guy a hamburger. As though God says, now I love you. Oh, He loved you before. And we go to bed a little fearful at night, feeling like, oh, I didn't do that good thing I should have done. I spoke wrong to my wife, and now I feel like I deserve judgment. Friend, you deserve judgment anyway. All of our hope, all of our good standing with God depends so much on Christ and not at all on us that we must turn to Him. And that's what Jesus is trying to get across to them. He says, I didn't come to abolish all the law of the old covenant. He says, I've come to fulfill it completely so that I get all of the penalty for your sin, and you get all the merit, all the points, if you will, for goodness of Christ are put in your account. What Luther calls the great exchange, and I'll say it's great, if ever there was an understatement. He who deserved none of my sins took them all and bore the Father's wrath, and I who deserved no merit, no favor of God, get all His love. This is the wonder of the cross. And Jesus states it to them plainly, as Paul did in 2 Corinthians 5. For our sake He made Him to be sin who knew no sin, so that in Him we might become the righteousness of God. A wonder of wonders.